everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Vlogmas 10! We made it to 10! So before we begin, let's do the quick intro. For Vlogmas this year, we are doing Vlogmas with a twist. We are doing Disney tips every day for travelling around to Disney parks around the world. So every single day up until the 25th of December, we've got a new Disney tip. And today, we are talking about mostly, I think, Walt Disney World, because I don't think other parks around the world do this, perhaps with the exception of Disneyland in California. Anyway, if you know, tell me. But we are talking about dessert parties and are they worth it? So every time I ask a question like, is it worth it? Should I go? Generally the answer is yes, but this one I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. So I did a dessert party in August of 2016 when I visited Walt Disney World, and it was the Star Wars Galactic dessert party. It's called the Star Wars, these names are so long. Star Wars, a Galactic Spectacular Dessert Party at Disney's Hollywood Studios is the complete title. Now we bought our tickets for the Star Wars, can we just call it, we're going to call it the Star Wars Dessert Party. So we bought our tickets for the Star Wars Dessert Party online on Disney's website. They were $69 each per adult and I think $39 per child. Please check that because I might be wrong about that one. But it's actually risen recently to $79 per adult. So be warned, if you book soon, it's probably going to be $79 per adult. You can book easily via the Disney World website, and you can see all the dates that they do, because I don't think they do the Star Wars dessert party every night. So you've got to just check to see which dates work for you and see whether they have space as well. So the general idea of the dessert party is you're supposed to turn up, you're supposed to enjoy a plethora of desserts, like loads and loads of desserts, and some drinks, which includes alcohol, for a good couple of hours. And then you enjoy the Star Wars Galactic show with priority seating, which is right in front of the Hollywood theatre thing. Chinese theatre, which is inside of Hollywood Studios. So I think when this dessert party started out, they initially held it outside, but ours was held inside of the Star Wars launch bay, and I think they still hold it there. I think it's still in the Star Wars launch bay today. We turned up around 7. We got a wristband and we entered into the dessert party. And as we passed through, there were stormtroopers everywhere, and there was this section of the launch bay that was sort of cordoned off just for us. And then there was this just, you know, whole wall of food, like a whole wall of food. So the savoury section had some pita breads, it had some little cocktail sticks with cheese and things on them, and some dips. It had some dips there as well. The dessert section was huge, and you'd expect it to be huge. It is a dessert party. There were cupcakes, there were marshmallowy things, there were panna cotta-y things, like little dessert cups, other little cakes. There was the Darth Vader cupcake. There was loads of cupcakes. So the Darth Vader cupcake I absolutely love because it's peanut butter flavour, chocolate peanut butter, always good. And there were some fruity things as well. Now my favourite dessert, so time for my favourite dessert, was the frozen Nutella. Oh my god. They freeze a Nutella or ice, no, it's like a cream. I don't think it's just Nutella. Is it just Nutella? The truffle dessert? I can't remember. Anyway, it's some chocolatey liquidy thing. And they freeze it with nitrogen and they turn it into this very, very smooth and super delicious ice cream, and they put toppings on it. I had mine with the raspberry topping because raspberries and chocolate ice cream is good. So with the savoury foods and the dessert foods, you also get drinks, and actually alcoholic beverages are also included in the price of the ticket, which is pretty decent actually, or at least they were still included when we were there. I made the blunder though of starting off with what appeared to be the most alcoholic beverage I had in all of the Disney parks. Now I don't drink a lot, but I probably had, you know, one drink every other table service meal, and I tried a few beers in Epcot, as one does. But this drink that I had was just knocked me for 6. I had the swamp milk, which was delicious, but it was so strong that I couldn't drink another alcoholic drink. It was intense. Obviously you get your Star Wars dessert party ticket because not only do you want to eat normally desserts, but you also want to go get your priority seating for the shows later. But there is some extra entertainment inside of the launch bay as well. There were stormtroopers everywhere. I think I mentioned that earlier. And you get to have sort of a good look around of all of the stuff that they have on display, which you can see in the launch bay anyway. There is also a couple of Jawas that are out in the sort of bar-y area. I mean, it's not where the bar is that's serving you drinks, but there's like a bar area. I don't know, there's a couple of Jawas there. I know the Jawas sort of hang out there a lot during the day. I don't know if it's consistent, but they were there for the entirety of the dessert party, and I loved it. I loved the Jawas so much. I don't know whether it's because I was drunk on swamp milk, but they seemed to be particularly hilarious to me, and they also seemed like they were a little bit, they were acting like drunk Jawas. It was hilarious. So I think I giggled with them non-stop for about half an hour just messing around. At some point that you're eating all your desserts, you'll notice that people are starting to gather around the entrance or nearish the entrance that you came into the launch bay, and this is because everybody's getting ready to go to the priority seating area for the Star Wars Galactic Spectacular show. How this works is a little bit interesting. First of all, with your ticket comes the best place to see the Star Wars Galactic Spectacular show, in my opinion. They cordon off an area that has a perfect sort of panorama of the Chinese theatre, not right at the front, but you're sort of set far back enough, and that there's sort of an area in front of you which is empty, which is always left empty. It's I think it's like a place where people can walk back and forth, so it's worth it for that space to stand and see the show. But that's sort of the caveat here. You do still stand. There's a sort of section in the front where all the kids can go, so they can still get a decent view, but everybody else is standing in that section behind. So if you're unlucky, you may not get to that sort of front bit of that area, because it's kind of a bit of a block. So the people that sort of, you know, that get there first, they will get into the front bit, and you may still be standing behind them. So even though you paid $69, now $79 for a ticket, you may still be 5 or 6 people behind, you know, sort of in that block of the Star Wars dessert party people. So if you want to make sure you're at the front, the best thing for you to do is to hang out with all those other people about, you know, sort of half an hour-ish before the show starts, because around 15 minutes before you'll be led out to your special priority standing area, standing area, it's really standing area. So half an hour before the show, you want to get into a good position, so as soon as the stormtroopers come and the cast members tell you, right, we're going to walk over to the show now, you're at the front of that block to be able to be led into the priority seating area, and you can get that prime position. When you get there, they should give you 2 things, or we received 2 things anyway. We got a Chewbacca Stein, so like a, you know, sort of a mug thing with a lid on it, which is super cute, and we also got some water, which was very, very well received at that time, because after eating all of those sugary things and going back out into the heat, even at that time of night, it's still hot in Florida, you really wanted to have some water. You find your spot, and the kids go into the section that are in front of you, and you get ready to watch the show, and then you'll see a spectacular show. Haha, I didn't actually plan to say spectacular then, but it is spectacular. It was really, really good. I loved the Star Wars show. Fireworks great, projection's fantastic, music's really moving, means a lot to lots of people, especially because Star Wars is so special to so many people. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I said a lot of great things about the Star Wars party, so why was I so in the beginning? And this is the thing. Do I think it's worth it? So here we go. It's $69 a ticket. That's a lot of money. When you're paying as an individual, it doesn't seem like loads of money, but I can imagine for people who have to pay for a family of 4, or even more than that, it's a lot of money to part with per person. Secondly, desserts in America are very, 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 very sweet, and there's only so much sweet stuff you can eat. Now, I actually thought that I would do really well at this because I can eat a lot of sweet stuff. Like, I can pick the icing off a cake and leave the cake and be absolutely fine. But I found this tough. If you go and you want to get your money's worth, I would say go really hungry. Drink the fruitier versions of the alcoholic beverages if you do want to have them, or just the non-alcoholic beverages, and have some of the savory food first. I ate so much sweet stuff that I couldn't eat anymore, savory or otherwise, but go and have the savory food first. I really didn't get to experience that, and I regretted it. Make sure you get your frozen Nutella. Definitely do that a few rounds. then crack open the cupcakes afterwards. The cupcakes I think we had first, and you know, they were so sweet. They sat on us, which meant that we didn't eat as much food as I felt like we should have done, or for what we paid for. The priority seating area though may be worth it for you for the money. The Star Wars Galactic Spectacular Show, because of where it is in Hollywood Studios and because of where the projectors are, there's not loads of places to be in Hollywood Studios to get that fantastic a view of the Chinese theatre for the show. To wrap up, I would go to do the dessert party if Star Wars means loads to you and you're not going to be spending loads and loads of time at Walt Disney World, so you're not there for, you know, sort of 14 days or something. If you're spending a very targeted amount of time in Hollywood Studios and you love Star Wars, definitely go for it, because you won't have to wait to get the prime spot, because you're led out to this perfect spot, this perfect priority seating spot. And you know, if you're a big Star Wars fan or your kids are big Star Wars fans, they will really get a kick out of this experience. If on the other hand you're somebody who likes Star Wars but not that much, and you can't eat a lot of sweet stuff, or if you're somebody who has to pay for the rest of your family or the rest of your party to go and do the experience as well, you might want to second guess it. I'm glad I did it once, and if I went back in time, I think I would still book it and still do it once, but I don't think I'll do it next time. I think I'm gonna wait and you know, perhaps leave it a couple of years before I do it again. So I hope you found this helpful. It's a little bit, not too sure, but it was a great experience. Just be a little bit careful about your planning. Now, I have absolutely no idea what we're doing for Vlogmas 11. I had a thought the other day actually of doing Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, so maybe we'll do that. But for this one, I'll say goodbye. I hope you are all having a fantastic December. Christmas is coming. I'm already eating all the chocolate and it's great. But yeah, I'll say goodbye and I'll see you all for Vlogmas 11 tomorrow. Okay, bye everyone.